Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in November 2020. What is going on, Gemini? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are all doing well. All right, here we are, November. Just 1 month to go before all of 2020 is wrapped up. How is your year, Gemini? Hopefully it is wrapping up well. Wherever you are in the world at this time, Gemini, I hope you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Please continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, all right? Still a pandemic, so again, take those precautions. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving at the end of this month, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Again, if you're celebrating with those that you know and love, please take precautions. Please keep yourselves and others safe as you celebrate the holiday, okay? No other announcements, I don't think. No, I don't think so. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Gemini, anything you want from me, it is already in the description box below. If you want to see the timestamp, it is down there. If you want to see how to go about purchasing a personal reading with me, that information is down there as well. If you have a question before you place an order with me, email me at the same address that you see listed there, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. If you're interested in doing any donations towards the channel, they are always appreciated, never expected, and I would invite you to use either the PayPal link the PayPal link, thank you, or the Cash App link down below if you want to do donations. Again, never expected, but always appreciated. And if you're interested in following me on Instagram, the name over there is EmpathicFire Tarot, and the link to that page is down below as well. All right, guys, let's just go and get into it. Looking for that outcome, please, for Gemini in November 2020. Outcome for November for Gemini. Gemini's outcome in November, please show me. Thank you. Okay, bottom of the deck will be the overall energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. My throat has been kind of wonky today, which is interesting because I have no reason to have it. I don't think, at least. But let's go ahead and flip the king face down. Alrighty then, alrighty then, alrighty then. Ooh, okay. Alright, let's get into it. Please show me where Gemini is in November 2020. Gemini, November 2020, please show me. One more time, please. Gemini in November 2020. Okay. It's sort of kind of between two places, but it feels mostly here. But, you know, I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Gemini, starting your reading, you come in with the energy of the Temperance card. Major arcana for Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius, but you don't have to be. So, what is that? Patience, young Padawan. Little Star Wars reference for those that care. But generally speaking, patience. I feel, Gemini, you might be really looking forward to something or really anticipating something and really wanting a certain event to transpire a certain way or an outcome to happen, and it's either going to happen in due time, perhaps divine timing a little bit for a few of you, but ultimately take the pressure off yourself, or take the pressure off the outcome, or take the pressure off of the situation or circumstance. There's something about the more you want and fight, not that you wouldn't get it, it's just you're just going to work yourself up, or you're just going to make matters worse. I feel that I hate this. I don't really like this phrase, but it's what they're throwing into my head. Patience is a virtue. I think, for some of you, it's like a matter of how you're being perceived, or thank you, or a matter of how you're going to make yourself feel. If the more patient you are and able to sort of let go of any type of control or release any need for a particular outcome and just kind of go with the flow, go with what, life or the situation or destiny or, is bringing to you, fate is bringing towards you. There's something about releasing it with gratitude. Like for some of you, this is about in some cases, this is like a win or loss situation. And whether you win or lose, there's something here about being grateful just to have been able to participate. And, I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, we do have this imagery of an angel, so maybe for some of you that's coming from your higher self, coming from your guides, coming from your personal Lord and Savior, or what have you. But there is like something here that's saying be grateful just to have gone through the experience, whether or not you win or lose. It's not about winning or losing, perhaps is a message for that also goes with that. It's not about win or lose. It's about living what you've lived through, learning what you've learned, or taking those lessons, or taking that experience and transmuting it. Thank you, because the Temperance card often also speaks to transmutation. So taking what you've learned, what you've experienced, and transmuting it into something else, even if it ends up that you lose, even if it ends up that you win, whatever it is, the outcome is not the biggest part of this. Whatever transpires or isn't, it's what you make of it is what's important here. So I'm getting that again with this energy of tempering and therefore or thus related to transmutation. But I'm also getting that Sagittarian vibe, where Sagittarius is mutable fire. So changeable creation. Mutable, that's you. That's your opposite sign, by the way, Sagittarius. So you're both mutable. So the changeability, the adaptability is there. Not the difference, but what Sagittarius brings to the table with that fire element is creation. So out of something, or out of nothing, you can create something, right? Out of something, you can create something else. Always having that in your head, Gemini, that whatever's going on, you can utilize the skills you have, the knowledge you have, the experience you've gained, whatever, and turn it into something else. There's something here where that's like the biggest part of this, as along with the gratitude part. So be grateful, show gratitude, possibly show some patience. Patience is a virtue again. And then of course, using that adaptable, or using your own adaptability and create something out of it. Create something with your adaptability. Thank you. Okay, so that's on your side. That mutable part that you share with Sagittarius, again, that's your opposite sign. Finding and striking a balance between two opposing sides of something, or two polarizing forces, being able to sort of walk the middle, or at least navigate between these two, perhaps make compromises between the two. That's important here for you or for someone else. This is a general. It can go the other way. It can go several different ways. Okay, so take what resonates and leave what does not. Okay, so that's where we begin. What else happened? Okay, well, shit. All right, that's why. Okay, for some of you, this is about the ending of a particular relationship or connection. And there is a potential for things to get nasty, but they don't have to go that way. It's your choice. It's the choice of other people. It's the choice of everybody involved. If we all take a little advice from the Temperance card, none of this has to get nasty. But it damn well could be. I see it. It could. Because, Lord, okay, slow it down. Okay, so for some of you, this is about business and or family. And in the realm where it's family, it could be your blood relatives or the family that you've married into. Because some of you, this is about a marriage. Okay, so we have a long historical connection or series of connections, entanglements, what have you. Again, family, business, maybe friendships, but I feel really mostly family and or business, okay? And it's been going on for a long time, perhaps several generations. You might come from money, or you might be dealing with a family business that's been going on for, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I don't know. You could have a long marriage to speak of. And if you don't have a long marriage to speak of, when I say long, I mean like, 10 years or more, maybe 5 years or more, if I wanted to be really gracious. But, 10 is mostly coming from the 10 of Pentacles. So let's say 10 years or more. But even if you don't, you would have, let's say you had a marriage that was less than 10 years together, but your families, either one side or the other, or both of them, have extensive histories, like rich histories, like I'm just feeling like lineage, like I'm seeing like family trees. So like even if you don't, know beyond your family tree, like who your grandparents are, like your great grandparents, you don't really have much knowledge about them. The person that you're married to, like they can track like their family back to like the Mayflower or some shit like that. It's deep, right? Whatever I'm talking about, it's deep. It has a very rich history to it. Your family life, your business life, both of those things together. If it is friends, I guess you've known them for a long time, or it feels like you've known them a long time. And a lot of this long history, this enriched, or excuse me, this rich, very, very abundant, not, well, yeah, abundant because it's pentacles, but I wanted to say, God, the word went out of my mind, so I guess I did want abundant. So this long history, this abundant history that you share with people comes with a lot of expectations, comes with a lot of regulation, I'm feeling, because it is Pentacles. So we could be talking about money, we could be talking about inheritances, we could be talking about, death tax and all these other types of things that exist when we move money or fortune or assets along generational lines. Okay. So yeah, there's like a lot of expectation, a lot of regulation, rules. I feel like restriction in some of your cases, not for everybody, but there's just a lot of impact here. So I said this in a reading recently. Was it for the distillery? Either the distillery series, or I think I did Scorpio's birthday reading. So at some point I had mentioned in a previous reading that when we talk about marriages or any type of connection, but particularly marriages, on paper, in the words itself, in quick, conception, or how people think of it, often we think of two people. Two people get together, they're married. That's a marriage. Clearly, I think most of us would easily agree marriage, yes, is a marriage, is a union between two people. However, the deeper context, or the deeper, image of that is it's actually bringing together of two families, like we've been talking about. So we've got the merging of two people and more. So Gemini, whether this is business or family, there's like this energy of merging together, and it's based along foundational lines, or there's a lot of impact to your foundation, your monetary, your material foundations, possibly in some of your cases, your physical foundations in terms of your home, or where your brick and mortar store is, where your headquarters is, if you run a small company or a small corporation or something like that, or a very large one, whatever. And I feel there's a lot of hands or a lot of cooks in the kitchen, so to speak, even though you and or one other person are the primary sole focus. Does that make sense? Or you're the meeting point, right? So if you're business partners with someone else, you and them started a company, and that company has grown, and you have several locations. You're national or international, perhaps, or you're statewide, whatever. But you and the person are the original inception point, the original merging point, the coming together, right? Anything to do with you two, good or bad, will ripple out and affect your stores over here, your media presence over here, your employees across the corporate space, across the storefront space, And if we go back again to like marriage, your family, or excuse me, you represent one half, they represent one half. You come together. Now your parents are involved and their parents are involved. Your brothers and sisters, their brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, da 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 da. And then again, I think I mentioned this in I think it was the distillery. I could be wrong. But then if you come together in a marriage, often we get children out of that because, again, this is multi-generational. Ten of Pentacles represents multi-generational. So if you come together and then you create children within your marriage, or you adopt into your family children, or they bring in, you bring in your children from previous relationships, that again is like this merging of more than two people, even though two people are the central point. Does that make sense? So something very, very precarious is going on in the nucleus of a multi-generational family or a very large corporation or business structure. Something within the nucleus between two people is transmuting. It's changing. And that is going to really send out like ripples. What is this called? Like earthquakes? Like, what do you call that? Like an earthquake. There's like one central place, a fault or a shift in the tectonic, isn't it? Tectonic plates or whatever underneath the earth. One little shift, boom, sends out a huge, massive, reverberation across several hundred miles. Do you get what I mean? So there's a ripple effect here. Now, what's happening? Honestly, it feels like I said earlier, temperance. Things could be super, super bad, but I hope you and or other people are trying to not make it that way. It could be bad. I don't know. I feel it can go either way. But ultimately, something is out of balance. Justice. So what was imbalanced is going to come into balance. And in that process, there could be waves, there could be ripple effects, there could be reverberations, there could be earthquakes. Hopefully not literal earthquakes in your life, but like figurative, earthquakes. And that is not what anybody wants to hear. That's not what anybody wants to live through, but that's kind of what is happening. And how you react, how you and or other people react to the earthquake, react to the balance being set into place. That is where the temperance energy is jumping in here. Based on how you react, based on the intensity of the earthquake, the intensity of how justice is set into place, you can either be really tempered with it or you cannot. That's your personal decision. That's the personal decision of someone else. I would advise it, but that's not my life. I'm not living your life. You're not living mine. So justice, I feel in some of your cases, we were talking earlier, it is, for some of you, this is a story centered on a marriage somewhere, whether it be your marriage, your cousin's marriage, your best friend's marriage, your sister's marriage, whatever. Somebody here will be going to court or is already in court. Whether or not it's about a divorce, that might not be what, thank you, because I was really hesitant to use that word. Some of you, there's a marriage in court, but it's not about divorce. Could be about alimony, or not alimony, child support or something like that. Or, well, I guess those things go with divorce, but like there's some, okay, thank you. I was like, wait, those both kind of relate to divorce. There could be legal action against someone's spouse. And I feel like there's a protection about that, right? Like if you're married to someone who is, facing a criminal suit, you don't testify against them or something like that. So it doesn't have to be the legal action is to sever the two parties that come together in a unit. It could be one half of the unit is facing legal action and whatever ramifications or consequences exist there is kind of what's on the table. So for some of you, this is about divorce, but for others of you, it's not. Regardless, that unit is some type of justice, some type of balance to the justice within the situation is being sought. Some of you, that's where that's coming from. Some of you, where it's either family and business or just business on its own, it feels like a divorce, even though it's technically not a divorce. Like if you're trying to buy out your partner or they're trying to buy you out or you're trying to take over, what do you call it? What do you call that? when you want the majority of the company. I forget what that term is called. I'm obviously not a lawyer, and obviously not somebody in the business world. But like you want you want 51% of the company. Like before it was like 50-50. Now you're like, I want 51 or 52%. You want that controlling percentage, right? That can feel like a divorce, even though you're not really asking for the person to leave the business, or you're asking for them to divest completely and you hold all ownership. It's like, no, I just want the controlling factor or the controlling percentage of the company, right? Or this is the company that you're working for. You don't have to be in the nucleus. You could be observing this like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps away from the nucleus. Does that make sense? Regardless, there's something about fairness being set right here. And how you and or other people react is really your own decision. I personally, in my life, I wasn't always this way. But now that I'm a little bit older, I try my best to be as even keeled about things because, it just, for me, I'm just trying to have like, in terms of my life, I just want to have like even karma. I don't want anything good. I don't want anything bad. I do want good things, but I don't want anything too terrible. So I'm trying to like be middle of the road with things. And I think that is kind of advisable for somebody here. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to do it my way. You don't have to take my advice. You can do what you want. But being that these scales are balanced and being that justice is blind, I think it's kind of like, you don't want to sort of press your luck. Like somebody here might be pressing their luck. Like, oh, okay, so that could make sense. Okay. Like Gemini, I don't know who you would be in this situation. Okay, I see you up there. That's it. It's like somebody's trying to maybe take more than their fair share. And that's why I said it doesn't feel exactly like a divorce, even though for some of you that word or that concept could be true. Even if it's not a divorce, it feels like it, and it feels unfair. Someone might have that in their head or in their heart. This is unfair. I don't want to do that. I don't want us to separate. I don't want to lose my impact in the business or my investment in the business, whatever. And the reason is because both parties are equal, but one or both are not treating that as the truth. There's a lot about balance here. And again, we started that with the temperance card. Temperance is about balance. It's about putting, not equal, but putting proper measured parts within the same vessel and not canceling the other out or overpowering the other, right? In traditional depictions of the temperance card, you'll see often the angel is pouring water between one cup into another, or sometimes fire and water. And if you do that, either way, if you put too much fire onto water, what happens? The water evaporates, the fire basically takes the water out of the vessel. If you put too much heat to water, it evaporates, it steams up and everything like that. So the fire overpowers it. If you put too much water on fire, what does it do? It douses it. It takes the fire out. It totally takes the heat away from the situation. And sometimes you need both of those things to happen. However, from the beginning, I told you, this is really about not having it both ways, but having it balanced, having it equalized. And we get that again with the Justice card. We get that also up there with the Emperor and the Empress. And I'm not sure where we're going first, but something here. And then you think about your own archetype, Gemini. You are the twins, right? You're this balance between, quote unquote, the good twin and the bad twin, right? And you're this sign of duality that you can switch between these two polar, not opposites, but these two polarities, I should say. And I think Geminis, you, Libra, also here, Justice cards, major arcana for Libra. I don't know if I said that. And sometimes Pisces, and Pisces, because they're also a sign of duality. You three being represented by different glyphs and symbols within the tarot, or within astrology, I should say. Your superpower is being able to walk that tightrope of not giving into one side over the other and walking that middle ground. And that middle ground is very hard to very hard to get to for anybody. But you three are inherently designed to recognize the differences between the polarities. And if you can recognize the differences, or rather, let's say recognize where one begins and the other one ends, and vice versa, right? You would be able to hone in on that central area and walk that balanced line. For sake of fairness, for sake of stability or wellness, and sometimes also healing as a part of temperance, that's very important for you guys. But I get the sense that it might not go that way for some of you because you have two sides that are vying for power. Okay? So you've got two sides vying for power. Are we bringing them out together? Yes. Okay. That's interesting. I don't usually do this unless they fall in the same spot, but this is how they want it today. So, Emperor and Empress. Emperor, major arcana for Aries. Could be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to be. Empress, secondary major for Taurus or Libra. You could be dealing with either a Taurus or a Libra, or no sign other than yourself. It's a general. Take it all with a grain of salt. But here you have a match, a pair. Okay, this is a true pair within the tarot. Okay, and this is higher arcana or major arcana pairs, not just court card pairs. So you have a very destined, if not soulful, connection with another person, or if again, this doesn't have to be you. This could be the people that are central to the story that are the nucleus of everything. This could be again, your friend and his wife, or your friend and her husband, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But there's this meeting of equally powerful people. Both are creators. Both are stable. Both have a great sense of self, a great sense of autonomy and ownership of self. Easily identified as independent people. Independently minded, independent. They both have their strengths, and they lean very heavily on their strengths, and they guard their weaknesses, or at least they don't make their weaknesses as accessible to other people as other characters or other archetypes within the tarot might. Okay. Now, when these two get along, it's great. They agree. They work towards the same goals. They have the same outlook on life, or the same vision for what the future may hold. They want to create the same things together. It's great. When one or both of them are not on the same page, when they're in disagreement, when one or the other or both become inflexible, then we have a problem. And I'm feeling there's an inflexibility going on here. Hold on. This is a divergence. Somewhere along the trajectory of this relationship, friendship, business, family, spouses, I don't care what we're talking about, these two people started to see things differently. And as strong individuals, independent people, independent in the sense of like respecting other people, but also knowing or feeling like their way is the best way. So maybe independent isn't the best word, but that's like I feel the sense that both parties, whoever they are, male or female, sign doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, the relationship between them, it doesn't really matter. What we have is two people who have very strong convictions and very strong ways of expressing themselves and going about their lives the way they want to. And for a while they agreed that life and what we're seeking was here. It was together. It was balanced. It was equal, right? But one person maybe started to turn away a little bit like that, and this person is still going straight, but this person is going like 20 degrees to the east, or 20 degrees to the west, or whatever, and this person is straight, dead on, right? That little 20% difference, 20 degree difference, is enough to destabilize this relationship, to destabilize the nucleus here. Whether it be the emperor who did it or the empress who did it, it doesn't matter. If they both did it at the same time, we both turn away from each other 20 degrees and we start to go that way. Think about it that way. It's here, right? We're both going, 0 degrees. If you go 10 degrees that way and I go 10 degrees, thank you, this way, eventually as we continue, that difference between us is going to widen. I'm not good because I didn't go to school for math and I can't really talk about it in those ways. But think about it. Like literally get out a piece of graph paper or get out a sheet of paper and draw two lines that start at 0 degrees together, but you angle them out at 10 degrees apiece. As the line goes further and further along this path and further and further along that path, the gap between them widens, right? Like the lines are no longer together, they separate. And so because you have two people who are fiercely independent, meaning I want you to do it my way. No, I want you to do it my way. Even if one or the other or both of them changed what they wanted, they both are like, well, you should change to do it the way I want you to do it. No, you should change to do it the way I want you to do it. They both want the other to relent, to fall in line with what they want. And it's not going to happen. It won't happen. These two characters, they both want it the way they want it. And I'm in a weird position as the outside person to understand, or at least feel, it feels very, very much true to each. Whatever this person wants, they're correct to want that. Whatever that person wants, they're correct to want that. And they both should be able to pursue that. The hiccup is trying to get one side versus or the other to come back and align with, the other person. That's not that's not going to happen. That's not healthy. Healthy? Why healthy? Because they're developed. Again, I'm using this word independent. Possibly there could be a better word, but there's no growth together. Together. There's no growth together. So, this again is not me co-signing on this energy. But what I'm feeling here is going back to the generational thing and the long history that exists here. This could be a friendship, family relationship, marriage, whatever, business relationship. It does not matter. It's been, but I did say that, like, I feel like 10 years or 10 years and up or close to it. After that much time, if one or both parties change, that number one is natural, and number two should be respected. And there, again, I said in the beginning, 10 of Pentacles, expectations. There's this expectation that no, because at some point we were a unit, it always has to be a unit. And I can understand that thought process or that point of view, but I don't see that as feasible because these two characters, probably the people in the nucleus, even if they're affecting everybody else, they are not in the mood to compromise with one another. And that can turn nasty. Again, potential for nastiness that needs to be tempered, that needs to be, properly measured out so as to not really create such a destructive force or such a ruckus, right? And the setting of balance there might come through very dramatic or traumatic means, because I use that imagery or that idea of an earthquake, right? Because I believe, and please someone correct me because I'm not an authority on these things, but I believe when we have tectonic plates shifting underneath the surface of the earth, that's the earth just kind of like, doing what it does naturally. It naturally is shifting, it naturally changes. But on the surface, it creates such a disturbance to us. It's not that the earthquake is doing it to be destructive. It's not like earthquakes happen because Mother Nature is just like, you know what I want? I want to just destroy a bunch of shit right now. No, it's just like, oh, these need shifting. These plates need to be shifted because there's too much pressure here or something like that. And the symptom or the outcome of that, what is created from that shift is very destructive to us here on the surface. Like that's not, I hope you're able to follow me. So the shift that exists between these two people, whether it be buying one person buying the other person out of a contract, or of their position of power in a corporation or something like that, whether it be one person seeking a divorce and the other person doesn't want it, or both people seeking divorce but the terms are, you know, both are being non-negotiable about the terms, alimony, child support, whatever. Like, that's where it can turn nasty, is how you seek the balance. What you fight for, what you don't fight for. What you put up a fuss about, what you don't put up a fuss about. That's where this can really turn super, super ugly. And I don't know, that really worries me for you, Gemini. Anything else? I mean, Emperor and Empress together, so again, for those where this is like domestic, there's heavy, 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 heavy family implication here. This affects not just these two people, it affects the children, the extended family, the mothers-in-law, the brothers-in-law, the sisters-in-law, whatever. There's issues over property going on here, going back to Ten of Pentacles a little bit. And there's just a lot to consider. And both of these people, or one or the other, might be really ignored, like be just like, they don't care about that. Because what they want is what they want. Because both people think what they want is correct. The other side is the one that's being unreasonable. Okay? Page of Swords, final card in the main spread. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Number one, look at all the envelopes floating around this person. Messages coming and going. So these two people, these two characters, or several people, it doesn't have to just be these two, but there are people here who are not necessarily in direct contact. There could be third party, interesting that I'm mentioning that, third party contract, meaning, the reason I say third party is because these are two individuals, and I picked this card up, and this is someone else, potentially. So like a messenger, like literally a courier service. So not third party like cheating scenario that we often hear when we watch tarot. Not that type of third party. Like literally like third party, like because these two people might be on gag order between talking directly to each other. There has to be someone who goes in between them, who delivers messages. Does that make sense? Could be a mediator. But pages aren't really, you know, in a position of power, because I feel like a mediator is somebody who's like looking for a resolution. The page is not here to do that. The pages are here to just literally drop a message off, take a message back, and has like no dog in the fight. Mediators, I think, wants a resolution, and this page is coming through as they don't care about the outcome. Whoever this is, they don't care. Hi. For some of you, I mean, you're watching this reading, and I rarely put myself into a reading. For some of you, I am this Page of Swords, and I'm not an air sign, by the way. But I or someone in the field such as this, a tarot reader, a psychic, or some other type of medium, someone who works in this field. We don't have a real dog in this fight, but we still deliver the message. Does that make sense? So, interesting. In some of your cases, because it is traditional understandings of the Page of Swords, it can be spy energy. So some of you, this could be like a private detective, literally, or this could be a service, not even a person. It doesn't have to be a person. There's like tons of online services where you pay a certain fee and you can look up all kinds of documents about a person's history and, you know, figure out if they're a catfish, figure out if they're involved in fraud and all this other kind of stuff. There's all kinds of services. And again, I'm getting that off of the envelope, so like electronic messages, emails and stuff like that, where you and or someone else, Gemini, is really trying to do your homework to try to destabilize, unfortunately, your competition, or what would be possibly deemed as your competition, you know, plaintiff versus defendant and all that kind of stuff. So if it is an external person, it's legit somebody who carries messages. It legit is the internet service provider. It's Google. It's Microsoft. It's whoever. Okay. It's this unbiased entity that sits in the middle that carries messages to and from. that delivers information to the person seeking the information. That's it. I don't get, quote unquote, again, third party as in someone who's trying to come in and become a part of the story, or they're in the middle of the story. Not in that way. Not in that way where they're aligned only with the emperor or only with the empress. I feel that this person or entity is legit a vessel. Okay. Because again, even with like a private eye, they don't care if you get what you want to hear. Like if you are fine, if you're hiring somebody to dig up dirt on a business partner, right? And your goal is to find out that that business partner is doing shady business dealing so that you can prove to the board, or you can prove to other owners or other people who have invested in the company that they're no longer sound of mind, that they can't make good decisions and they need to be removed from the business. That's your goal, right? You hire a PI to look for that information, look for dirt, look for any type of proof that your claim or your suspicion is correct. They don't care. Their job is to find the information, period, right? So they could come back and show you, no, this person's above board. They don't have any shady dealings. They're not, they're not using money, or they're not using company funds or monies in any type of ill or any type of negative way. This person is above board. That could be the message that the Page of Swords delivers back to whoever's looking to strip someone of their power. So again, whoever this is or whatever this is, no dog in the fight, literally just a messenger. Literally just a messenger. In some cases, maybe a little bit of a spy. Okay? Outcome. Gemini is 6 of Pentacles. Jesus. So again, balance and fairness. Reciprocity a little bit. I'm getting for a few, there is a sense of payback here. And whoever's in that energy, whether it be you or someone else, Gemini, it's really low vibe. It's really crummy. It's not good. So if it's you, try your best to rise above that. Pardon me, but if you can't, I understand. I mean, you're only human. I'm only human. We can't be, quote unquote, perfect all the time, because perfection doesn't exist anyway. But there is this sense of what goes around comes around here. Karmic justice. Again, justice did come out, and I'm feeling that a little bit is residual here in the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know, Gemini. I think in some cases, because let me tell you, this goes out to hundreds, sometimes thousands of people who watch, or dozens of people, whatever. And not everybody's going to get what they want. And I have to tell you, some of you are going to reap what you've sown. For those where, and I'm not trying to call anybody out because I don't know any Geminis personally, but there's just this feeling of, if you didn't lay good seeds, you're not going to get good crops. If you laid good seeds, hopefully you get good crops. But for some, there's some Geminis in this energy where, and I had been saying this over 2020, maybe even back into 2019. Gemini has been doing what they want to do. Emperor, Empress energy, whichever dynamic you're in. And again, these are two polarities, masculine and feminine. So that's another duality or polarity to be aware of, right? Whichever character you resonate with most. Both have been doing it the way they want to do it. And I've warned Gemini over the past several months, if not better part of a year, be careful of that. To lean into that energy consistently, you may not get what you want. And I'm feeling that coming from that 6 of Pentacles. You might not get what you want. What goes around comes around. Karma. Those very base levels in which we perceive those phrases or those words, right? Yeah. What you want is out of reach. And if you look at it, if you can see the animals there. So on the ground, you've got a bird and a rat. And up on the stalk or the stem, you've got another bird. So this is like takes care of like. Ooh, family takes care of family, right? Ooh. Okay. So like takes care of like, or family takes care of family, right? The bird in this scenario, because you look at the rat, he's like, well, what about me? Where's my crumbs, or where's my seeds, or how come I'm not eating and the bird on the ground is eating? And the bird on the tree is like, well, that's what's fair, because he's got a little he's got a little scale in his beak, right? So this is what's fair. I take care of my person. I take care of my bird friend, my bird family member, and you as the rat, as the rodent, you don't get fed because I take care of my people. I take care of my kind. So for some of you, oh, it's really gonna turn not in a great way. Some of you, it actually might work out. I don't want to do doom and gloom for all of you, but I want some of you to know a portion of this energy, it's not going to go the way you want. And you're going to be reaping, or you're going to be, I suppose, shocked. For an example, this is just an example, and then I'm going to end it with the overall energy. If you've married into a family, or obviously you've married, right? And you become close with your in-laws, right? If there is trouble in the water, divorce, separation, any type of hiccup, any type of earthquake in your relationship, some of you might be shocked to know or learn or experience that despite the closeness you have with your in-laws, because of that whole entity or idea of family takes care of family, blood thicker than water type of thing, they're going to rally around their child or their family member and totally ice you out, totally abandon you, totally leave you without a crumb to your name, a crumb to take into your hands and nibble on, because family takes care of family. You could have, again, years, you could be having these long relationships and bonds with these people, but because you or whoever is, from their estimation, hurting their family member, their child, their brother, their sister, whatever, you now become the enemy. Something like that, okay? That's what I feel for some of you is going to happen. It doesn't, I don't want it to, but like it's just coming through. Two of Pentacles is the overall energy, so how to perform, how to behave, what decisions to make, how to move forward in this situation, etc., etc., etc. That's on the line here. Not on the line here, but that's the consideration for you and or other people. What decisions do I align myself with? What avenues do I try to put myself on going forward? And because this is Pentacles, Emperor and Empress naturally have some semblance of Pentacles within them. They would have it of all the elements, by the way, or all of the suits. So let's say part Pentacles, Pentacles here, and then the Two of Pentacles here. For some of you, it has to do very, very heavily to do with a financial decision. Perhaps, again, with the buyout scenario. Am I going to take that offer? Am I going to try and buy this person out? Am I going to try and stonewall them in some type of way and get them out of the business decisions in terms of, anything to do with familial entanglements? Am I going to seek alimony? Am I going to seek child support? Or can I just, let that go and just finalize, whatever. There's a lot of potential, or a lot of what am I going to do? What am I going to do here? That could really, well, it doesn't really, but I think that uncertainty or that juggling that this character is doing with the Two Pentacles in his hand, again, another sign of balance. We've got a lot of balancing here, a lot of balancing act going on. And I don't know, Gemini, I don't really know what you're all different, so you're all going to do different things. But I think deep down inside, for some of you, you're more uncertain and more cautious or afraid than you might let on, especially if you show up as either the Emperor or the Empress. Yeah. Gemini, that's your reading for November. If you like this, please hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I'd love to read it. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. That would be super amazing. I would appreciate it oh so much. Gemini, if you want to get at me for a personal reading, again, that information is in the description box below. I will be back in about 2 weeks, thank you, to do your mid-November readings. Until then, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care.